Have you ever wondered how far engineers can go when war demands solutions that make absolutely no sense at first glance? We're not talking about traditional military trucks, but machines so bizarre that they look like they came out of an experiment with no limits. Vehicles that break every expectation, with shapes, functions, and ideas that make you question if they even work. But what really drives engineers to build machines like these? Did they all serve a real purpose, or did some go a little too far? Throughout history, different countries have developed military vehicles that completely ignore the standard rulebook, whether through their design, engineering, or the way they move. Today, you're about to go on a journey through some of the most absurd military trucks ever built. A countdown that starts with unusual concepts and climbs all the way to machines that completely defy logic. Stay with me until the end, because the number one on this list will surprise you in a way you've never seen before. M561 Gama Goat. Developed in the 1960s by the American manufacturer LTV, the M561 Gama Goat was created during a time when extreme mobility was a priority, especially in environments like the Vietnam War. It was designed to go where conventional trucks simply could not, crossing mud, water, and dense terrain with a concept that looked strange even by military standards. It was powered by a diesel engine with 3 cylinders, displacing around 3 liters, producing approximately 130 horsepower, with enough torque to handle extremely rough terrain. Its acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour was never relevant, but its top speed reached around 80 kilometers per hour. The 3-cylinder engine focused on delivering steady force rather than speed. It came paired with a manual transmission with short gear ratios, allowing precise control in extreme conditions where traction mattered far more than acceleration. Its most unique feature was the articulated frame, where the vehicle literally bends in the middle, allowing the rear section to follow the terrain independently. Combined with all-wheel drive, this system gave it traction in places where most vehicles would get stuck almost instantly. Visually, the Gama Goat looked like a broken truck trying to move forward. Its motion was strange and almost unsettling, constantly twisting as it adapted to the terrain. The engine sound was loud and rough, and the driving experience was far from comfortable, especially over long distances. In practice, it could cross flooded areas, deep mud, and jungle paths that would completely stop traditional vehicles. On paper, it was extremely capable and solved serious mobility problems in combat zones where terrain was unpredictable and unforgiving. However, in reality, it became known for being noisy, uncomfortable, and difficult to maintain, which made many soldiers dislike using it despite its impressive capabilities in extreme conditions. Even so, it became a memorable piece of military history, remembered more for its unusual design than for widespread success in the field. And if you think this is already strange, get ready, because the next vehicle takes this idea to an even more unexpected level. DUKW. Developed during World War II by the American manufacturer General Motors, the DUKW was created to solve one of the biggest logistical challenges of the time, transporting troops and supplies directly from ships to land without relying on ports or docks. Its name comes from an internal code, but what really stands out is its amphibious capability, something extremely innovative for that period. It was equipped with a gasoline engine with 6 cylinders in line, displacing around 4,400 cubic centimeters, producing about 90 horsepower, with torque enough to operate both on land and in water. Its acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour was not the focus, but its top speed reached around 80 kilometers per hour on land and just over 10 kilometers per hour in water. The 6-cylinder engine delivered smooth and consistent power, ideal for continuous operation. It came with a manual transmission adapted for both terrain and aquatic movement, allowing the driver to control the vehicle in completely different environments without losing efficiency. Its suspension was simple but durable, and the traction system was 6x6, meaning all wheels received power from the engine. It also featured a rear propeller, which allowed it to move through water like a boat, turning it into a true hybrid between truck and vessel. The DUKW looks like something that should not exist. It resembles a truck shaped like a boat, with an open body and a rugged structure. Watching it enter the water is almost surreal, as if it's breaking the basic rules of how vehicles should behave. The sound changes as it transitions from land to water, creating a completely unique experience. In practice, it played a crucial role during amphibious operations, especially in military landings where it transported soldiers, vehicles, and supplies directly onto shore. This solved a massive logistical problem and made certain operations far more efficient than ever before. After the war, many units were adapted for civilian use, especially in tourism, where they are still used today in cities for tours that go from streets straight into rivers, keeping their legacy alive in a very unusual way. Even with all its usefulness, its appearance always drew more attention than anything else, making it one of the most unusual military vehicles ever built. And if you think a truck that turns into a boat is already strange, wait until you see what comes next. ZIL 4906 Bluebird. Developed by the Soviet manufacturer ZIL during the Cold War, the ZIL 4906 Bluebird was built for a mission that already sounds unusual: rescuing space capsules and cosmonauts after landing in remote and unpredictable locations. In an era where capsules could land in swamps, snowfields, or isolated terrain, this vehicle was designed to reach absolutely anywhere. It was powered by a gasoline engine with 8 cylinders in V configuration, displacing around 7 liters, producing about 150 horsepower, with torque enough to handle extremely challenging environments. Its top speed reached around 70 kilometers per hour on land, while in water it moved slower, prioritizing stability over speed. The 8-cylinder engine provided consistent and reliable power. It worked with a manual transmission with short gear ratios, allowing precise control during rescue missions in areas where traction and balance were critical. Its structure featured a 6x6 traction system and full amphibious capability, allowing it to cross rivers, flooded areas, snow, and mud without major difficulty. The suspension was elevated and reinforced to handle impacts and irregular terrain with efficiency. Visually, the Bluebird looks like something from a completely different category. Its large body, bold shape, and unusual proportions give it an almost futuristic look for its time. When it moves, it gives the impression that nothing can stop it, and the engine sound reinforces that feeling of raw capability. In practice, it played a vital role in the Soviet space program, being responsible for locating and rescuing astronauts in remote areas after re-entry. This solved a critical safety issue and ensured missions could be completed with more security. Interestingly, it was often used together with an even stranger vehicle that it carried along, designed specifically for terrains where even it could not operate properly, making the entire rescue operation even more impressive and unconventional. This vehicle became a symbol of extreme engineering, showing how necessity can push design far beyond traditional limits. And if you think this is already pushing boundaries, get ready, because the next one takes this concept to an even more extreme level. Lark LX. Created by the American manufacturer Laplander, the Lark LX emerged as one of the largest amphibious vehicles ever built, designed to transport extremely heavy loads directly from sea to land. Developed during the Cold War, it was built for large-scale logistical operations, where ships needed to unload equipment in areas without infrastructure. It is equipped with 4 diesel engines, each with 8 cylinders and about 9 liters of displacement. They combined their power to generate over 1,000 horsepower, with massive torque capable of moving extremely heavy loads. Its top speed was around 30 kilometers per hour on land and about 12 kilometers per hour in water. Each 8-cylinder engine operated independently, powering specific wheels, which ensured efficient distribution of force. The transmission was automatic, designed to handle extreme weight and simplify operation. Its structure featured 4x4 traction with massive wheels, along with a robust amphibious system that allowed it to move through water with impressive stability, even while carrying tons of cargo. Visually, the Lark LX is simply colossal. Its wheels are enormous, its body looks like a ship on wheels, and its presence completely dominates the environment. The transition is so smooth that it feels like it was built more for navigation than for driving. In practice, it was used to transport tanks, vehicles, and supplies directly from ships to coastal areas, solving one of the biggest military logistical challenges. Its load capacity was simply absurd, enabling operations that would be impossible with conventional vehicles. What makes it even more impressive is that despite its size, it could operate with relative precision, something remarkable considering its proportions. This made it a key asset in large-scale amphibious operations. Even though it was extremely efficient, its appearance always caused confusion, as it looks like a mix between a truck, a boat, and an industrial platform, something difficult to fit into any traditional category. If you're enjoying this list of completely out-of-the-ordinary machines, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. And believe it, because the next one on the list proves that sometimes size doesn't need to be massive to be completely unusual. Tatra 805. Produced by the manufacturer Tatra in former Czechoslovakia during the 1950s, the Tatra 805 was developed as a light military truck designed to handle extremely difficult terrain. Despite its compact size, it quickly became known for its unusual appearance and surprisingly capable off-road performance. It was equipped with a gasoline engine with 8 cylinders in V configuration, displacing around 2.5 liters, producing approximately 75 horsepower, with enough torque to handle rough terrain. Its top speed reached around 80 kilometers per hour, which was quite reasonable for its size and purpose. The 8-cylinder engine delivered consistent power for a vehicle of its class. It was paired with a manual transmission with short gear ratios, allowing precise control in off-road situations, where traction and stability were more important than speed. One of its biggest highlights was its fully independent suspension combined with all-wheel drive, which allowed it to move through mud, snow, and rocky terrain with surprising efficiency, especially considering its small size. Visually, the Tatra 805 is quite unusual. Its proportions are different, almost toy-like, but in a rugged military way. When it starts moving, it completely changes your perception, showing that it is far more capable than it initially appears. The engine sound is distinct and adds to its unique personality. In practice, it was widely used for transporting troops and equipment across difficult terrain, especially in areas where larger vehicles could not operate effectively. It solved mobility problems in tight and rough environments with impressive reliability. Interestingly, despite its compact size, it was capable of overcoming obstacles that much larger trucks struggled with, which earned it respect among those who operated it in real conditions. Over time, it became a symbol of clever engineering, proving that you don't always need size to achieve performance, especially in military scenarios. And if a small truck like this can already be so unusual, get ready, because the next one starts raising the level in a completely different way. Volvo C303 Laplander. Developed by the Swedish manufacturer Volvo in the 1970s, the C303 Laplander was built to operate in some of the harshest environments in Northern Europe, where snow, mud, and uneven terrain are constant challenges. Originally designed for military use, it quickly gained a reputation for its extreme off-road capability. It was powered by a gasoline engine with 6 cylinders in line, displacing around 3 liters, producing approximately 125 horsepower, with enough torque to handle difficult terrain with ease. Its acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour was around 25 seconds, and its top speed reached close to 100 kilometers per hour. The 6-cylinder engine delivered steady and reliable power, ideal for off-road conditions. It came with a manual transmission with short gear ratios, allowing full control when navigating rough and unpredictable terrain. Its most distinctive feature was the portal axle system, which significantly increased ground clearance. Combined with all-wheel drive, this setup allowed it to move over obstacles, deep snow, and rocky surfaces with remarkable efficiency. Visually, the Laplander has a tall and robust design, with proportions that immediately suggest durability. When in motion, it almost seems to glide over obstacles due to its high clearance and suspension design. The engine sound is firm and controlled, reinforcing its reliability. In practice, it was used in military missions, expeditions, and even off-road competitions, proving its versatility across different environments. It solved major mobility challenges in cold and remote regions where standard vehicles would fail. It gained legendary status among off-road enthusiasts and collectors who recognize its unique capabilities and engineering. Even today, it is remembered as one of the most capable and unusual military vehicles ever produced, combining functionality with a very distinctive design. And if you think this is already outside the norm, just wait, because the next vehicle takes this concept to an even more unexpected level. Sherp ATV. Created in Ukraine, the Sherp ATV is one of the most unusual vehicles ever developed to handle extreme terrain. Even though it was not originally designed as a traditional military truck, it was quickly adopted in special operations due to its incredible ability to move through almost any environment. It is equipped with a 4-cylinder diesel engine with approximately 1.5 liters of displacement, producing around 44 horsepower, with enough torque to move its massive wheels with ease. Its top speed is around 40 kilometers per hour on land and about 6 kilometers per hour in water. The 4-cylinder engine may seem modest, but its purpose is completely different. The transmission is manual with low gears that prioritize power and control rather than speed. Its suspension is practically non-existent in the traditional sense, since its biggest advantage comes from its giant low-pressure tires, which act as natural shock absorbers. The traction is all-wheel drive, allowing it to move through mud, snow, water, and even over large obstacles. Visually, the Sherp is completely out of the ordinary. Its oversized wheels dominate the design, making it look like it is more wheel than vehicle. When it moves, it almost looks like a giant toy, but with a capability that impresses anyone who sees it up close. In practice, it is used in rescue missions, expeditions, and operations in inaccessible areas, solving problems where no other vehicle can reach. It crosses rivers, climbs obstacles, and travels through terrain where most vehicles would not even be able to move. What makes it even more interesting is that it can naturally float without any preparation, turning it into a true hybrid between a land vehicle and an amphibious one, something rare even in military projects. This level of versatility has given it worldwide recognition, being used in different types of operations across the globe. And get ready, because now we are entering a level where the concept of a military truck starts to become even more absurd. Oshkosh M1074 PLS. Developed by the American manufacturer Oshkosh, the M1074 PLS emerged as a highly efficient military logistics system, designed to transport heavy loads with speed and practicality. Created for modern operations, it introduced a different approach, focused on modularity and agility on the battlefield. It is equipped with a V8 diesel engine with approximately 15 liters of displacement, delivering around 500 horsepower, with extremely high torque. Its acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is around 40 seconds, and its top speed is close to 90 kilometers per hour. The 8-cylinder engine ensures a constant delivery of power, ideal for transporting heavy loads over long distances. The transmission is automatic, designed to make driving easier and reduce driver fatigue. Its suspension is robust, built to withstand heavy impacts, and the traction is 10 by 10, meaning all wheels receive power from the engine, ensuring mobility in difficult terrain. Visually, it is large, imposing, and clearly conveys raw strength. Its automatic loading system allows it to lift and transport containers without the need for external equipment, making it extremely efficient. In practice, it solves one of the biggest military logistical challenges, which is the rapid transport of heavy loads in areas without infrastructure. This increases the speed of operations and reduces reliance on other vehicles. What stands out the most is that it can load and unload itself in just a few minutes, something that completely changes the dynamics of modern military operations. Even though it is extremely functional, its size, complexity, and concept make it one of the most unusual trucks ever created within the military context. And believe it, because the next one starts to enter a territory where excess becomes the rule. MAZ 543. Developed by the Soviet manufacturer MAZ, the MAZ 543 emerged during the Cold War as one of the most impressive military trucks ever built, designed to transport large ballistic missiles. In a scenario of global tension, there was a need for a vehicle capable of carrying extremely heavy loads with stability and reliability. It is equipped with a V12 diesel engine with approximately 38 liters of displacement, delivering around 525 horsepower, with massive torque capable of moving enormous structures. Its acceleration from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is around 1 minute, while its top speed is close to 60 kilometers per hour. The 12-cylinder engine provides a constant and robust power delivery, ideal for transporting strategic loads over long distances. The transmission is manual, with both long and short gear ratios to adapt to different types of terrain. Its structure features 8x8 traction, allowing all wheels to receive power, ensuring grip and stability even on difficult terrain. The suspension is extremely durable, designed to handle heavy weight and constant impact during operations. Visually, the MAZ 543 is simply impressive. Its length, multiple wheels, and imposing presence make it look more like a mobile platform than a conventional truck. The sound of the engine is deep and heavy, conveying a clear sense of raw power in motion. In practice, it was used to transport and launch missiles, as well as to serve as a base for various heavy military systems. This solved one of the biggest strategic challenges of the time, which was the mobility of large-scale weaponry. One interesting detail is that its cabin is split into two separate sections, positioned on each side of the engine, creating a look completely different from any traditional truck, reinforcing its unusual appearance. This model became a true symbol of Soviet military engineering, recognized worldwide for its capability and its unique design. And if you think this is already extreme, get ready, because the next one takes the concept of a military vehicle to a place few would imagine something like this could exist. ZIL 2906. Developed by the Soviet manufacturer ZIL as part of the same space program that used the Bluebird, the ZIL 2906 was created for a very specific purpose: to cross impossible terrain where not even amphibious vehicles could operate. It was mainly used to recover space capsules in swamp areas, deep snow, or completely flooded regions. It is equipped with two gasoline engines, each with 2 cylinders and about 1.5 liters of displacement, producing approximately 70 horsepower combined, with enough torque to move its unique system. Its top speed is around 40 kilometers per hour on firm ground, becoming slower in extreme environments. The dual 2-cylinder engine setup works independently, ensuring redundancy and operation even in adverse conditions. The transmission is manual, adjusted to provide full control in critical situations. Its structure is what truly stands out. Instead of wheels, it uses 2 large screw-shaped cylinders that rotate and allow the vehicle to move across terrain where wheels would simply not work. The traction is total, based on this helical system. Visually, the ZIL 2906 looks completely unreal. With no wheels and 2 large screws in their place, it moves in a strange sideways motion, almost as if it were sliding across the ground. The sound is unlike any conventional vehicle, reinforcing its unusual appearance. In practice, it solved a problem that very few vehicles could handle, which was accessing extremely unstable areas such as swamps and regions covered in soft snow, where even amphibious vehicles would get stuck. What makes it even more interesting is that it was transported by a larger support vehicle and only used when absolutely necessary, acting as a last resort solution for extreme situations. This level of specialization makes it one of the most unique and unusual vehicles ever created, showing that in some cases, engineering means to completely abandon conventional ideas to actually work. Here we reach the top of the list, where the concept of a military truck stops following any standard and becomes something entirely outside common logic. Throughout this journey, you've seen some of the strangest military trucks ever built. Machines that defy any standard and show how far engineering can go when necessity speaks louder. These vehicles are not just curious. They represent real solutions to extreme problems, even if they often seem completely out of the ordinary at first glance. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these vehicles surprised you the most? Which one would you actually dare to drive? And in your opinion, which one was the strangest of them all? If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. This helps the channel grow and allows more people to discover these incredible machines.